But before all these, when he had appeared on the first day, he remained upon the earth, something like 2 days, and left the lower Pranoia in heaven, and ascended towards his light. And immediately darkness covered all the universe. Now when she wished, the Sophia who was in the lower heaven received authority from Pistis, and fashioned great luminous bodies in all the stars. And she put them in the sky to shine upon the earth and to render temporal signs and seasons and years and months and days and nights and moments and so forth. And in this way the entire region upon the sky was adorned. Now when Adam of Light conceived the wish to enter his light, that is, the 8th heaven, he was unable to do so because of the poverty that had mingled with his light. Then he created for himself a vast eternal realm. And within that eternal realm he created 6 eternal realms in their adornments, 6 in number, that were 7 times better than the heavens of chaos and their adornments. Now all these eternal realms and their adornments exist within the infinity that is between the 8th heaven and the chaos below it, being counted with the universe that belongs to poverty. If you want to know the arrangement of these, you will find it written in the 7th universe of the prophet Hierelias. And before Adam of Light had withdrawn in the chaos, the authorities saw him and laughed at the prime parent because he had lied when he said, "It is I who am God. No one exists before me." When they came to him, they said, "Is this not the God who ruined our work?" He answered and said, "Yes. If you do not want him to be able to ruin our work, come let us create a man out of earth, according to the image of our body and according to the likeness of this being, to serve us. So that when he sees his likeness, he might become enamored of it. No longer will he ruin our work. Rather, we shall make those who are born out of the light our servants for all the duration of this eternal realm." Now all of this came to pass according to the forethought of Pistis, in order that man should appear after his likeness, and should condemn them because of their modelled form. And their modelled form became an enclosure of the light. Then the authorities received the knowledge gnosis necessary to create man. Sophia Zoe, she who is with Sabaoth, had anticipated them. And she laughed at their decision. For they are blind against their own interests, they ignorantly created him. And they do not realize what they are about to do. The reason she anticipated them and made her own man first, was in order that he might instruct their modelled form how to despise them, and thus to escape from them. Now the production of the instructor came about as follows. When Sophia let fall a droplet of light, it flowed onto the water, and immediately a human being appeared, being androgynous. That droplet she molded first as a female body. Afterwards, using the body she molded it in the likeness of the mother, which had appeared. And he finished it in 12 months. An androgynous human being was produced, whom the Greeks call hermaphrodites, and whose mother the Hebrews call Eve of life Zoe, namely, the female instructor of life. Her offspring is the creature that is Lord. Afterwards, the authorities called it beast, so that it might lead astray their modelled creatures. The interpretation of the beast is the instructor. For it was found to be the wisest of all beings. Now, Eve is the first virgin, the one who without a husband bore her first offspring. It is she who served as her own midwife. For this reason she is held to have said, "It is I who am the part of my mother. And it is I who am the mother. It is I who am the wife. It is I who am the virgin. It is I who am pregnant. It is I who am the midwife. It is I who am the one that comforts pains of travail. It is my husband who bore me. And it is I who am his mother. And it is he who is my father and my Lord. It is he who is my force. What he desires, he says with reason. I am in the process of becoming. Yet I have borne a man as Lord." Now these through the will, the souls that were going to enter the modelled forms of the authorities were manifested to Sabaoth and his Christ. And regarding these, the holy voice said, "Multiply and improve. Be Lord over all creatures." And it is they who were taken captive, according to their destinies, by the prime parent. And thus they were shut into the prisons of the modelled forms until the consummation of the age. And at that time, the prime parent then rendered an opinion concerning man to those who were with him. Then each of them cast his sperm into the midst of the navel of the earth. Since that day, the 7 rulers have fashioned man with his body resembling their body, but his likeness resembling the man that had appeared to them. His modeling took place by parts, one at a time. and their leader fashioned the brain and the nervous system. Afterwards, he appeared as prior to him. He became a soul-endowed man. And he was called Adam, that is, Father, according to the name of the one that existed before him. And when they had finished Adam, he abandoned him as an inanimate vessel, since he had taken form like an abortion, in that no spirit was in him. Regarding this thing, when the chief ruler remembered the saying of Pistis, he was afraid lest the true man enter his modeled form and become its lord. For this reason he left his modeled form 40 days without soul, and he withdrew and abandoned it. Now on the 40th day, Sophia Zoe sent her breath into Adam, who had no soul. He began to move upon the ground, and he could not stand up. Then, when the 7 rulers came, they saw him and were greatly disturbed. They went up to him and seized him. And Eve, the chief ruler, said to the breath within him, "Who are you? And whence did you come hither?" It answered and said, "I have come from the force of a man for the destruction of your work." When they heard, they glorified him, since he gave them respite from the fear and the anxiety in which they found themselves. Then they called that day rest, inasmuch as they had rested from toil. And when they saw that Adam could stand up, they were glad, and they took him and put him in paradise. And they withdrew up to their heavens. After the day of rest, Sophia sent her daughter Zoe, being called Eve, as an instructor, in order that she might make Adam, who had no soul, arise, so that those whom he should engender might become containers of light. When Eve saw her male counterpart prostrate, she had pity upon him, and she said, "Adam, become alive. Arise upon the earth." Immediately her word became accomplished fact. For Adam, having arisen, suddenly opened his eyes. When he saw her, he said, "You shall be called mother of the living. For it is you who have given me life." Then the authorities were informed that their modeled form was alive and had arisen, and they were greatly troubled. They sent 7 archangels to see what had happened. They came to Adam. When they saw Eve talking to him, they said to one another, "What sort of thing is this luminous woman? For she resembles that likeness which appeared to us in the light. Now come, let us lay hold of her and cast her seed into her, so that when she becomes soiled she may not be able to ascend into her light. Rather, those whom she bears will be under our charge. But let us not tell Adam, for he is not one of us. Rather let us bring a deep sleep over him. And let us instruct him in his sleep to the effect that she came from his rib, in order that his wife may obey, and he may be lord over her." Then Eve, being a force, left at their decision. She put mist into their eyes and secretly left her likeness with Adam. She entered the tree of knowledge and remained there. And they pursued her, and she revealed to them that she had gone into the tree and become a tree. Then, entering a great state of fear, the blind creatures fled. Afterwards, when they had recovered from the daze, they came to Adam. And seeing the likeness of this woman with him, they were greatly disturbed, thinking it was she that was the true Eve. And they acted rashly. They came up to her and seized her and cast their seed upon her. They did so wickedly, defiling not only in natural ways but also in foul ways, defiling first the seal of her voice, that had spoken with them, saying, "What is it that exists before you?" Intending to defile those who might say at the consummation of the age that they had been born of the true man through verbal expression. And they erred, not knowing that it was their own body that they had defiled. It was the likeness that the authorities and their angels defiled in every way. First she was pregnant with Abel, by the first ruler. And it was by the 7 authorities and their angels that she bore the other offspring. And all this came to pass according to the forethought of the prime parent, so that the first mother might bear within her every seed, being mixed and being fitted to the fate of the universe and its configurations, and to justice. A prearranged plan came into effect regarding Eve, so that the modeled forms of the authorities might become enclosures of the light, whereupon it would condemn them through their modeled forms,